Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Diego Manrique and today we're going to be doing a very short and sweet review of the Neewer Motorized slider. It's the 60 centimeter version, and I'm just going to be enlisting the pros, the cons, and who would I recommend this for. So anyway, let's jump into it. So this is a Neewer Motorized slider, 60 centimeters. And I think the 60 centimeters is the sweet spot between it's long enough so you can have a bit of movement on your shot, but it's not too long to be just a hassle to carry it around. Let's talk about the pros of this motorized slider. So first of all, the price, it's around $300, which is pretty affordable for a motorized slider, especially for video. Another pro is that it's super lightweight. It's made out of carbon fiber and it's quite small. So it's really compact and you can just throw it in the included bag. You can just carry it around for your shoots, and yeah, it's pretty convenient. I personally use it set up on a pair of tripods, which helps me to just elevate it and put it anywhere I want and get some really nice and dynamic shots from pretty much any angle. Another great pro is the very smooth motion that it gives you for your shots. Not only that, but it also has some mechanical sort of knobs that allow you to have some panning movement to your shot, which is super convenient. I consider it to be great for video, not so much for time lapses, and it would not be an option for stop motion or those sort of techniques that require much more control. And last, but definitely not least, it's super silent. Right now it's been running all throughout this first part of the A-roll and you can't even hear it. And when you have the camera set up on it, it's pretty much super silent. So it's super useful for very noise sensitive environments. Now let's talk a little bit about the cons. Now it's not the perfect slider, although it has a lot of benefits. I consider the biggest con of this product to be the app that you use to control it. Now, I think the newer version of the Neewer slider actually comes with a controller, which I hope sort of helps you control it a bit more easy, and not only that, but set it up much quicker. Right now, this particular Neewer slider that I'm using requires you to use an app. And the reason why that's a huge con is that the app is very non-intuitive. It requires you every time to set up your A point and your B point every time you use it. If you turn it off, you have to set your A point and B point again. And yeah, I mean, it's really unintuitive, and it took me a while to actually understand how to set it up and to get it to function. The app doesn't really give you a clear speed or distance metrics. It just gives you a percentage of how fast it moves. And that can be really inconvenient, particularly when you're doing time lapses. You have to know like how much time it will take for the slider to move a certain length, and the app doesn't really tell you that. So it can be quite challenging if you're doing time lapses. For video, well, it's not that bad, but you do have to sort of time yourself to do certain actions because the slider it just keeps going, basically just back and forth, and you have to sort of like prepare, and then you know, it gets to a certain point and you're like, okay, 1, 2, and then you do whatever you're gonna do. So you have to have that in mind when you're using it. Another con is that it doesn't give you any controls for keyframing. Both the panning and the sliding movements are just they just go on, they just happen. So it would be really nice to have some keyframing options and synchronize it with your camera. It does have the ability to synchronize when it starts moving for your camera to start shooting, but that's the only like synchronization that it offers. So it's quite simple. Then again, for the price, I think it's great. And if you're gonna be using it for those purposes, I think it's a great buy. But as I said, it's not for everyone. In terms of build quality, it's quite sturdy. This little band that sort of like gives it the ability to move can be quite fragile. So of course, as those affordable products, you should be careful. And so let's talk about who would I recommend this slider for. I would say that it's great for solo creators. So if you're shooting by yourself, if you have no friends, well, this is great because you can actually just set it up, do your action by yourself, be your own actor, and then just have very dynamic, very smooth camera movements, which is great. And I would also recommend it for more narrative sort of work. If you're doing short films or that kind of stuff, when you have some setup time considered for your shoot, as I mentioned, setting it up can be quite tedious. So having that time on your shooting is going to be invaluable and needed. So that's who I would recommend this product for. If you're a wedding videographer or photographer photographer, if you're doing time-lapse work, or if you're gonna be doing more of a run and gun kind of thing, I wouldn't recommend it because it's quite limited on the ability of movements and control it offers. So yeah, those are my 2 cents on the Neewer Motorized slider 60 centimeters. It is a great buy. I've been using it for over a year and it's been great, and it's been carrying quite a load. I've set up my GH5 with a speed booster and the big chunky 50mm to 100mm 1.8 lens from Sigma, and it works. It just works. So yeah, it's a pretty good buy. I would recommend it for, as I said, solo creators or narrative filmmakers. The link for the slider is going to be on the video description, as well as my social media. If you want to follow me, you're more than welcome. It's free. Remember to share this video with someone who might find it useful. I make videos like this every single week, so consider subscribing. Let me know in the comments if you're thinking about buying it, or if you have it, what's your opinion on it. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.